Hello everyone, we're back with another installment of Am I the Asshole? If you like hearing Reddit tales, it would really support the channel if you could give us a like or subscribe. Let's get started with our first story. Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my seat on the plane so a boy could sit next to his father and to tell the father to behave himself? So basically, I, 29 male, boarded my short flight, 70 min, which has a 2-2 seating arrangement. I had booked myself a window seat, and when I got there, I saw a maybe 7-year-old boy sitting in there, next to his father, about 50 YO, in the aisle seat. The opposite row also had his mother and his sister sitting there. Although this happened less than 24h ago, I was exhausted, so I don't remember the conversation word for word. I pointed towards my seat, and the father asked me if I would mind swapping so they could sit together, and that their seat is in the row behind it. I said that I would only swap if it is a window seat, and he said it is an aisle seat. Then I said I wouldn't swap, and the following conversation happened. So do you want to sit next to my son? I don't care. I just want the window seat. Standing up and getting his son up, you are a very nice person. I mean, not a very nice person. It's none of your business and be polite. I am not, referring to me. I said something I don't remember, and behave yourself. I just stood there looking at him serious. I think he was trying to shame me initially, but he didn't respond anything else to that. His wife was watching this the whole time. When somebody in the row behind saw it, he offered to swap and sat next to me, so they did eventually sit next to each other. For all I care, they could have sat 20 rows apart or even booked a new flight. I had zero investment in this or their reasons. They can ask, I can say no, and that should be the end of it, IMO. I didn't like the swap happen before I approved it either. If they care that much, they can book their seats in advance like everyone else. I didn't have a good reason why I need the window seat except that I like it and don't like the aisle seat, lol. Not the asshole. If they wanted the seat, they should have booked it together. The same thing happened to me on the way home from Thanksgiving at my sister's on Amtrak. I like the window seat, so if there's one, I sit there. And I realize this is a little different because unless it's Amtrak business class, which you can reserve, it's first come, first serve. It was an hour-and-a-half train ride. This girl and her boyfriend board the train, I'm in my window seat, and the aisle seat is empty. Also, the aisle seat next to my aisle seat was also empty, with the person next to them in the window. So they could have sat aisle, and still been next to each other. Anyway, the girlfriend says to me, excuse me, and if this isn't okay, it's fine. But would you mind finding another seat so he and I can sit together? I politely said, no, sorry, I want to sit here. She actually looked a little shocked, but one of them sat next to me in the aisle, and the other one sat in the aisle seat across from us. At the next stop, both of the people behind me got off, so the two of them quickly switched, grabbed those two, and were able to sit together. The boyfriend sat behind me and promptly kicked the back of my seat hard, about 3 times. Gee, what happened to, if it's not okay, it's fine? I ignored him. I figured the absolute best way to retaliate was to not acknowledge his childishness, that he and his lady love had to sit less than a foot away from each other till the next stop. People are just jerks when they don't get what they want. You did nothing wrong. You booked your seat, and just because he wanted it doesn't make him in the right. There is a certain subset of Gen Z, not all and not even most, but a subset that has never been told no, and they don't know how to handle it. There are plenty of absolute meltdown videos over the most mundane things, such as a credit card not working at a checkout line, and it's unsettling. Edit. A lot of people are making this comment a competition. I am well aware this is a massive issue in boomers as well, and to a lesser extent Gen X and millennials. But boomers are a known issue and will largely be irrelevant in 10 to 20 years. People in their mid to late 20s acting like a child throwing a tantrum is much more concerning to me. There is a very large subset of people over the age of 55 who have also apparently never been told no. Just ask anyone who works in retail, food service, or hospitality. I fly 40 to 50 flights a year, and I see this all the time. And it is always entitled parents with kids. Just because they don't know how to book a flight doesn't give them a license to inconvenience anyone else on the plane. I used to give in to these requests, but then a few years ago I simply stopped, and now I do exactly as you did and just tell them to follow the rules like everyone else. You are definitely not the a-hole. You are just another tired traveler who did everything the right way, and you should be rewarded for that by getting your window seat. It just needs to be law that airlines must book parents with minors under X years together, period. And if an airline cannot book a parent with their minors together without bumping seats, the booking can't happen. You enter people's information at time of booking. If you try and book and can't do it, no. They may be across an aisle, booked with a middle aisle and no window, whatever. But they simply are not legally allowed to put minors on a flight without an adult unless they are registered unaccompanied. And if a parent is flying, they must be booked together. 2 parents can be split with kids, but kids are seated with a parent, period. Airlines are just shitty for putting a 7-year-old apart from a parent. You shouldn't have to pay extra to sit next to a child under 10. Because why TF is the airline even allowing that in the first place? Honestly, I earnestly believe that airlines are assholes for not putting passengers together who book together. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Passengers should not have to pay for the privilege of sitting next to each other when they book and pay under the same reservation. If you book and pay separately, then sure. I also think passengers should not have to pay to sit together when they are clearly a carer. Whether it be for the young, elderly, infirm, airlines need to allow carers to sit with their dependents. When did we, as the public, allow airlines to start doing this? Why do we allow them to take this right from us and sell it back as a perk? Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.